Hey, buongiorno everybody. I'm Killboy, and I'm here today with my best friend for the day, Scott, because he's agreed to let me play around in his 2004 Ferrari 360 Challenge Stradale. So I know a little bit about the car, and everybody, you know, can always learn a little something about the car. So tell us what is sort of interesting, significant about this car. It was a tribute to their Formula One successes at the time and things like that. I see the plate in there on the dash that talks about that. Right. What else is cool about it?
What's the interesting thing is most people think, oh, it's a slightly better version of the original 360. But it's actually a lot more than that. It's like a Type R on steroids for what it would be. So there was the Challenge Race Series version of this car. That was purely a race car. You wouldn't even want to try and register it if it was possible. So the story I've heard, they made too many of the chassis for the race cars, but the end of the production of the 360 was coming close, and the 430 is going to replace it. So too many race car chassis unfinished sitting around. What do? Crush them for fun?
Right.
Oh, let's make a street version of the race car, which the race car was a race car version of the street car.
Homologation type
so
thing, yeah.
It's race car with glass windows.
Yeah.
So
and Lexan rear window, and
that's about it. Yeah.
Some weight savings here.
Some European models you could actually order it with Lexan windows and a little slide Lexan window thing on the side, so you could pay tolls at the booth or something,
right,
or get your fast food order in.
So now this car is an 04 again, and it has how many miles on it?
This currently,
I bought it on it this weekend. Yeah.
I bought it with about 75, a little over 7,500 miles. I think I'm slightly under 7,800. So in about a year and a half I've had it. And if a low mileage one, the lower you can keep the mileage on it, the higher the value is going to be. Yeah. So to me, this is a savings account, not just a stupid, I'm going to go buy a brand new something, Ferrari or Lambo. Yeah. Get ready to take a 50,000 loss in just a few months.
Brands where you can buy it and get out of it and almost make money.
So it's like I'm just borrowing the car from the next owner for a while.
Yeah.
I'll just keep it nice for him.
Now, a few interesting things. The brakes
from the Enzo.
From the Enzo.
Yeah, the first other Ferrari to get these massive carbon ceramic brakes, 6-piston calipers in the front, 4-piston in the back. So does the job.
So massive rotors, very tight caliper clearances in there. You definitely don't want to get a rock or a stone in that little area between the caliper and the wheel.
So let's point out some of the cool touches. I like this sort of billet style. A lot of the cars have gone to straps and things like that to save weight. But
these two items here are titanium.
Titanium, yeah, I can tell by that finish. Yeah, feels really nice. And then it's got a nice little dead pedal down here for the passenger to push themselves back into these very snug looking. Is that Alcantara or is that suede from back then?
Well, Alcantara is synthetic suede.
So,
yeah. So then
lots of carbon
bodied adjusted seats with a carbon fiber roller. It's always nice. Cool. The cage in this, the roll bar is actually not available for the North American cars. In Europe, you could factory order with a roll bar. But
interesting.
So I guess one of the previous owners had that installed by somebody.
Huh. Cool. And now, so you have like a bespoke stereo system here.
I guess.
It's got their brand on it.
I turned it on, but
it works. You can verify that it works, but you don't listen to it a whole lot.
I never tuned in anything. I have no idea. I don't care if it works.
Car sounds amazing. I've heard it going up and down the road. It's pretty wild.
Actually, for these cars, a radio delete was an option.
Yeah.
And a other delete option was no stripe. You can do a stripe delete.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty uncommon for it to
they-
actually not have a stripe on it like this.
Yeah, they call it the pizza stripe.
Okay.
Looks like the Italian logo on a pizza box. So.
Nice.
Cars with the radio delete option are the more sought after ones. Somehow that has a higher value. It's
Interesting.
race cars don't have radio, so
And
the
did
more
they-
race car it is, the more.
Were they like Porsche? They charge more to remove things?
That might have been.
Probably.
Yeah. But at 194,000 sticker price.
Yeah, who's
people aren't
gonna
complaining
bicker
about-
over another $1,000 here or there, or whatever?
What's up, dog?
Security. My security system. Are you keeping the car safe? You keeping the car safe? Out there, I'm sure. Representing Alcoa, Tennessee, Maryville, with the Alcoa aluminum badge on there.
Part of this car's coming back home.
Yeah, exactly. All the way to Maranello, Italy, and back.
10.
Now you've
with
had
what this
you had a
car
few
did.
other interesting cars.
I still have my supercharged 5.5 horsepower S2000 at home.
Nice.
I've got a 93 EG, which my buddy's about to buy next month. But that's got a JDM Type R motor with work done to it. And that little car, I bought
So
it. I bought it on,
lightweight, yeah.
before I was halfway on the test drive from my buddy. I'm like, okay, okay, I know. Yeah, we'll take it.
Now these tires, pretty interesting story behind them. These are the original tires that came on the car in 04, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're way past their expiration date. So
That's
I need
pretty
to take care
wild.
of that soon.
Yeah, so that is the plan too. It doesn't do a lot of, it doesn't see a lot of street time. Obviously, you trailer it up here, and I don't blame you. And
the only driving I've done at home in South Florida is take my buddy for a spin, scare the crap out of him, and then park it and put it away for a few months at a time. And
Cool,
then
cool.
Took Mom out for Mother's Day.
Nice.
Yeah, got to do it.
And you've got some clear protection I see up here on the front
Yeah, that
end.
was done by the previous owner.
Yeah.
I didn't do it, so must have done.
Very pretty.
Collected
Alright.
a few bugs on the front.
Yeah, you were out. He was out taking people for rides in it yesterday, doing a little joy ride.
Put it in doorknob mode. Let everyone take a turn.
Very cool. All right, let's go cruise it down the road here and see what it's like. This thing's missing a pedal.
Oops. My first time sitting on this side.
No way.
Yeah. I've never had anybody else driving this car before. I've never seen the car being driven.
So
From the
stand on
outside.
the side of the road and see it just go by. Would be
Yeah,
nice.
so I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. That's very flattering. I did not know that. You are crazy, but I promise to respect your car.
A little bit.
I respect your car. All right, so go over the button situation here for me. So obviously
Launch
use that to
control.
start.
Yeah, launch control. I've never used
Don't mess
that.
with
Race. You always want to have it on race. It'll give you better longevity of the clutch. If you don't use race,
Too soft
it
on
makes
the
it
clutch.
smoother to drive around town, but it rides the hell out of the clutch a lot more. So if you want to have a clutch last longer and enjoy the car more,
Yeah,
put it in race mode forever.
but that doesn't affect traction control or anything. Put it in race mode. Does it have TC of some kind?
I don't believe so. That's what the ASR slash button is. Anti-slip regulation, I guess. I like to have it off only because I know what to do when the back end kicks out.
Yeah.
Whereas when this intervenes, if the back end started to kick out,
Abrupt.
it feels like forever that it cut the throttle plates for you.
Before it
And
lets you get back in.
And,
Yeah.
and if you didn't expect it to have had any slide occur, it's quite a startling experience when it's like, did the engine just fail?
Right.
What the hell was that? Oh, okay. Oh, and it starts flashing ASR up there, so.
You don't have too much fun, alright?
I'll try not to. So that shows that now you know it's off.
Oh, so all you gotta do is just tap
Yeah.
it. You don't have to hold it.
Yeah, just hit the button and,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know, maybe holding it into something else, I don't know. Okay, cool.
So now we got the window locks So is that for
window switches on that? Where
and
you see
if you
window
hit
lights?
that, it won't let you roll them up and down, I guess?
I think that's probably locking the doors. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, door locks. Okay.
Yeah, that's just locking unlock the door.
And this hazard lights.
Hazard lamp.
And then when you want to go into reverse, you have to stop and then do that, right?
Once you stop or almost stops, you can be rolling a little bit, but the brake pedal has to be pressed, and then you press the button, and then goes to reverse.
Okay.
To go to first gear, you must also have your foot on the brake and then upshift to that. To go to neutral, both paddles pull in neutral.
Nice.
That's it. There's nothing.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
It's easy to overthink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know other cars you have to do this and then pat your belly, rub your belly and pat your head. I don't know if this is, I think this is the first car to get the F1 transmission, but we complaining about this.
Match when you downshift?
Does all that. You can be on full throttle, you could be anywhere in between, you can be off the throttle, it'll rev match.
2004, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
So up and down shifts, it'll do what it has to do to the throttle, all for you. You don't have to help it or anything. Other cool thing is, notice the size of the flappy pedal on the left.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's large. It's larger on this side because on a racetrack, you're coming around a turn, you're probably going to upshift. Your hand might not be in the 3 o'clock position, so to give you more margin of somewhere to grab and hit it for the next upshift instead
you
of.
shouldn't be downshifting while you're turning, so your hand should be right on the downshift. But on
So
downshift, you could be kind of coming out of a turn, bam, bam.
Yeah, you have more area to contact that you get from 3 to 1 o'clock.
Those Ferrari engineers, man, you can't mess with them.
They've been building race cars for a couple years now.
Good at it.
Yeah.
Now, your first time you brought it here, you said it was pretty powerful emotionally, right?
Within the first 2 miles, my buddy's in the car, he's filming with his phone and stuff, and all of a sudden I realized there's water going down my face. And so I realized I'm like tears of joy while laughing like hysterically like a madman. It was just like nothing I've ever experienced or thought.
Overwhelmed.
I never thought there could be an experience like that where you're like so happy and elated, but then also with the tears of joy, it was just undescribable. This car was just so much more. The only Ferrari I would think would be an upgrade to this of a purchase would be an F40.
Right.
But they're like $3 million, so
sexy.
I'll just get a poster. or maybe.
All right, let's cruise down the road here and see what it's about. So we're in first. And all I have to do is let off the brake outside and it'll start rolling. Now you said this has the carbon brakes, but they're pretty effective even when they're cold.
Yeah, I noticed on the first couple of applications of the brake, you'll hear some squealing off of them, but then if you're still standing on the pedal hard, the squealing will disappear after they get hot a little bit, and then you'll get a bit more grip, more grab out of the brakes than you did initially.
Yeah,
like a little spray bit squeal.
Oh yeah, that's a great feeling brake too.
Yeah, there's no delay to it.
I like how the hood has the bulges over the wheels, so you kind of get an idea of where the
Fenders,
where the tires
Yeah.
are, the front tires.
so nasally until you get on the throttle, and then when they open up, it sounds like VTEC and a Honda kicked in. I said, so I just went it on. I went the thing on volume 11 all day long, so that works. But like the sound of this exhaust is just phenomenal with when it upshifts, but especially when it downshifts, you hear like a trumpet blat, like a musical instrument kind of blat to it. We've got the windows up, but there's sometimes a tunnel or a concrete wall next to me, or the rocks of the mountain, and it'll be, you'll just hear that, and it's like just got 3 times better when you can hear that. I've never even been outside the car and seen it drive by or heard it, so.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's not a single clutch, dual clutch automated transmission. It lets off the gas as it shifts gears versus pumping.
Yeah.
So it has a different type of feel to the upshift.
Yeah, dual clutch is just trading which clutch to hold.
Interesting. Yeah. I've never driven anything that had that sort of response to the upshifts where it does cut the throttle for a second, honestly, to do its upshift versus the sort of stutter pop that a lot of the modern
Those just do like an ignition stutter to it to make them do
just
that.
long enough for it to do its thing. But this is an actual standard transmission, being hydraulically actuated type of situation. So we're gonna pull in and turn around here. It is really happy up around 7,000-8,000.
Yeah.
It just like lazily goes right up to it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's about to explode. It's not hurting itself.
Like, oh my god, it's about to blow up. Just like, no, we're good.
The sound that the exhaust note makes, if you close your eyes sometimes at certain moments, it sounds like, oh, that's a sport bike, that's going by. But essentially, the V8s that Ferrari uses is a flat plane crankshaft, which is exactly like a 4-cylinder's crankshaft, and you just added another bank of 4 cylinders connected to that same crankshaft, as opposed to like a Chevy V8 with a completely different sound because it has different crank pins staggered across 360 degrees around it. But on a flat plane crank, it's either here or 180 opposing. And because of that, you have a lot less counterweight on the crankshaft. Because 180 degrees opposing, the connecting rod of the other cylinder bank acts as the counterweight for you. That's why they can rev so high like a bike.
to it.
I can't imagine what this car would be like with some fresh, super sticky rubber.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting next time you come down and have some drippy grip. I keep wanting to grab for a
Yeah, I would go.
shifter.
It looks like it automatically downshifts for you, so it doesn't stall the engine,
Nice.
but it won't upshift for you automatically. That's your responsibility.
Visibility's not too bad, considering it's so wide in the back and such small mirrors.
Yeah, it was always tricky getting in out of here because someone's always walking around, or
Yeah.
I forget, was there 5 motorcycles that I might hit, or only 2 or 3? I don't even bother backing it up all the way.
So walk it out of here. Very cool. Nothing hardcore.
Well, now you're first, so pull 2 pulls in.
There you go.
Neutral.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing hardcore in it, guys. I know it could be driven harder, faster, but I wanted to take it easy because it's pretty cold out, and these tires are
Yeah.
what, 17 years old or whatever. it comes out
15 to the original
15 years old.
2004 tires,
Yeah.
and now it's 2019.
So next time
They're
you
expired.
come by and
Yeah.
we'll do an updated drive with better, stickier rubber on it. But we'll go do some driving here with. I'll put the camera on my rig, and you can follow me then, and we'll get some footage of it from the front.
Okay.
And then we'll go down and play around with the drones if you want to.
Okay, great.